just when you thought it was safe to go back in the desert, Dune, Dune, Dune. Denis Villeneuve's Dune Part 2 is the biggest blockbuster of 2023 that got pushed to 2024 because Warner Bros. Hates writers and actors and joy. Picking up right where 2021's Dune left off, the film follows Paul Atreides, aka Usul, aka Muad'Dib, aka Lisan al-Gaib, aka Wonka, as he continues his quest to become the one twink to rule them all. Along his journey, he's joined by Chani, the coolest girl at Fremen High, Stilgar, the overly religious assistant principal of Fremen High, and Paul's mom, who's too busy stirring the pot and hearing voices to go to a damn PTA meeting. When bad boy exchange student and alopecia awareness spokesman Fate Routha enrolls cross town at rival North Arrakis High, Paul decides to settle things the only way he knows how. A catty little rumble in front of the whole town where he can show off the prissy little flip spin he's been practicing so hard. Nailed it. Dune Part 2 packs a lot into its 166-minute runtime, from that truly epic worm riding sequence they teased in the trailer, to a lot more subtle politicking and social maneuvering the marketing team was less excited about teasing. I was pretty surprised at just how talky Part 2 turned out to be, with the action fairly sporadic until the last half hour. I guess I was expecting more of a Lord of the Rings The Two Towers balance between backdoor alliance shifting and expansive action sequences. Don't get me wrong, there's plenty of action in Dune Part 2, but it feels like a side dish, not the main course. What the film does choose to focus on is the toll becoming a hero takes on people and their community. If defending people means preying on their culture and beliefs to gain their trust, should you? Where do you draw the line between actions that further your cause and actions that hurt the people you love? Part 2's got a lot of questions and some of the answers, but it really feels like a lot of Part 2's ultimate success depends on how satisfying Part 3 is as a conclusion. The performances are all stellar, from Timmy That's Not Hope Chalamet externalizing Paul's internal struggles with charismatic grace, to Zendaya making the most of all the great reaction shots Denis throws her way, to Javier Bardem expanding the handful of chuckles he got in Part 1 into a full-blown, one-man comedy routine in Part 2 that keeps the first half of the film lighter than it has any right to be. The standout performances for me, though, are Austin Butler playing his yoked fuckboy on bath salts, and Rebecca Ferguson, who continues to chart one of the most consistent and intriguing career paths in Hollywood. Just like in Part 1, Ferguson uses her minimal screen time to her advantage and packs more effort and intention into her scenes than most actors pack into entire movies. She takes what could be a very unlikable character in someone else's hands and imbues her with an energy that's equal parts sympathetic and terrifying. Here's hoping she gets even more opportunity to shine in Part 3. Seeing this in IMAX was a treat, and it's gotta be one of the IMAXiest movies ever, up there with Oppenheimer and Dune Part 1. Denis Villeneuve and his cinematographer Greg Fraser outdo their work on Part 1 by pushing the boundaries of what it means to shoot a modern-day sci-fi epic. From using infrared cameras to shoot the radiant black and white sequences, to highlight how hauntingly upside-down life would look growing up on a planet with a black sun, to shooting the movie digitally, then printing the finished product on 35mm film to give the movie a feel of softened timelessness that feels familiar yet new. Other classic sci-fi blockbusters like The Empire Strikes Back or Blade Runner don't lose any of their splendor now that Dune Part 2's entered the chat, but they can't quite pull off the magic trick that this movie does. Fully immersing you in a world, overloading your senses, and delivering an experience that puts the awe back in awesome. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. If you have seen it, go see it again. 4.5 stars. Let me know down in the comments, what did you think of Dune Part 2? Did it live up to the hype? Did you get as much of a visceral thrill out of watching Timmy bellow silence at Charlotte Rampling? And stay tuned for other great commentary videos, reviews like this, video essays, and more. You can check me out on Letterboxd at Cineramadome24. I appreciate you liking and subscribing. See you next time.